Okay, what is good, guys? Just got a little backtesting session today, and seeing as we have NFP coming up, I thought I'd just backtest the full porting strategy on NFP. So we'll just do it for this, just in this year, and yeah, we'll just get straight into it. Let me go ahead, maybe just do there, and we'll just do 100k. So if you're not really familiar with the full porting strategy, it is fairly simple. I'm not going to go ahead and change this because there's not really a strategy. But obviously, it is always going to be the first Friday of the month. And we'll go to here, and we can see, we'll check and just make sure. I don't think it's on this. Yeah, maybe not. Jolts, FOMC. Yeah, January 10th. Oops. Let's just go back to here. So what do we, oops, I need to delete this. So essentially for the full putting news strategy, it is fairly simple. Just measure out the first, sorry, not the first, the range from 815, so the high and the low, and then 60 ticks above this. You can play around with this, but this is what I've found works the best. For NFP, sometimes you need to do 80 ticks, but I usually do 80 ticks for stuff like FOMC. And then you can have a 60 tick take profit and a 50 tick stop loss. That's if you're full porting an Apex eval. If you do want to go pick up some Apex evals for this, I do have a code. You can get a very big discount, and that is code HUSS, HUSS. They allow news trading, and it's just the best platform for news trading. If you're going to Fullport news, I would advise you get a Rhythmic account, not a TradeAvate account, as you get filled a lot faster on Rhythmic, and that's if you connect it to NinjaTrader. So yeah, that's what I've found works the best. Oops, we'll just go there, and we'll just do 10 cons because that's the max you can do on Apex. Sell limit, 10 cons, no stop loss for this. We'll just go like this, and yeah, we can just watch this play out. It should have been a sell stop, sorry. Make sure you do stops and not limits. Okay, so yeah, sorry if this is taking a bit, what? This is why TradeZella, I'm not really the biggest fan of TradeZella. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and play this out. I know what this is doing here, but as you can see, get filled immediately and just boom. That's basically an eval passed. I think I messed up this take profit by maybe 1 tick. So yeah, you would have been able to pass an account with flying colors. You would have been able to catch like 700 ticks, which is just insane. You could have made, let's see how much you could have made. My PC wants to work. And it's $50 per tick. Could have made 38k on a 50k eval. But this is 100k eval, so it'll probably be more. So yeah, we can just go ahead and go to the next Friday or the next month. It's probably going to be here. Let's double check. Don't want to just be full porting nothing. February 7th at Okay, so we can just go. So the 8.15's here, and the 8.30 is going to be here. I don't usually use these chart colors, so it's a bit. But with this, it looks like they might have already priced CPI in. Sorry, not CPI, the NFP news in. So a bit dodgy here, because this could just wick it and then just go. Or this could just be a manipulation for it. Usually with FOMC, they do usually manipulate before the news comes out. So it's fairly easy to see where the FOMC is going to come out. Or even if it is coming out, like, well, with FOMC, my strategy sort of changes as I do set, well, I just wait for the news, well, I wait for Powell to get on stage and he'll start speaking, all of that. And then they'll usually manipulate price while he's speaking. And then after that, they will send it in the right direction. So that's the buy stop, and then we'll just do the sell stop. And also, you don't really need to set a stop loss if you're full porting, because you just get automatically liquidated from your broker. 2183, yeah. Okay, so let's see what this does. And see, with that, you would have actually, let's go on the 1 second chart so we can see what actually happened. And we would have been tapped in here. And I mean, it should have, in theory, it should have like won. And then you would go and delete your stop loss. Because I'm not really sure what just happened there. But like, as you can see, you would have like actually been able to make money. This is probably going to flip now. And yeah, this is the issue with slippage and getting filled, because this was all in the span of 30 seconds. So you need to be very quick, you need to be on your toes when you are full porting this. So that one would have been a bit dodgy when you're trading it. So let's go to, just want to show the price action. Yeah. Let's just double check if we have it today. March 7th, yep, non-farm payrolls at 8:30. So 8:15, let's mark out 8:15, 8:15's here. High and the low. And then we can just go ahead and set. I'm not going to do that's 60 ticks there. And then I'll just do it for this. For NFP, because it does move like hundreds of ticks, you can play around with it. Maybe if you want to backtest it yourself. Maybe for this, let's just do it to 100 ticks on each, just as a little test. And 60 ticks there. So we'll stop. And then we'll just do 100 ticks here. And yeah, that can be the same with this being like this. And then we'll just do the bar stop like that. So let's see what happens. We're on the 1 second chart, so this might take a little bit. So we got filled in the buy side, which is just a bit weird. Like, this is why Trade Zella's like just a bit, like when you backtest this stuff, it's, yeah, it's a bit hard when you backtest this stuff, but you can see, like it said we got stopped out, but we didn't. We would have hit take profit. So maybe we're just gonna have to remove our stop losses for this, so we don't have a stop loss. And like obviously we would have just printed off this. We would have been able to catch 400 ticks, and we never would have got wicked in here because our stop was 100 ticks away. So if we did have a 60 tick stop loss just then, we would have actually been wrecked. So maybe that is a play. Maybe we should start doing 100 ticks. So we'll just go, maybe it's in this. I don't think it's today because this is not really. Well, it was. How many ticks did this go? Oh, 300 ticks. Wow, that's a lot of ticks to be fair. This would be the high. This would be the low. And then we can do 100 ticks. See this range? This is very volatile, which is a bit weird for pre-CPI. Like we moved like 2,000 ticks pre-market. I bet you Trump made a tweet or something, did something nefarious like he usually does, just to grief us. So let's set a sell stop. Sorry, a buy stop. Where is it? Is this going to show it or not? Let's do that. And let's do a sell stop down there. Okay, so we can see how this. And yeah, you would have been absolutely cooked if you had a 100 tick. You would have been liquidated. Like, let's say if you would have even been able to pass, you would have been able to pass the account if you're like very rapid, and that's actually if you got filled. So let's just keep playing this out. But like, you would have already been stopped out if you were on if you full ported your account, because it would have liquidated you. So yeah, this is extremely risky, and as you can see, we're down 10k on the account. But we've only technically lost one, which was this one. So we'll just go up to, it's probably the 9th. I just want to show. So it was the week. No way, it was on the 2nd. That would be weird if it was on the 2nd. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, they usually wait until it's like a full week, but clearly not. Let's just play this out till it's like a few seconds before. Let's just do 40 seconds. So let's get the high. Yeah, this is a bit annoying because the high and the low of this. Let's do 100. All this range, because it's such a tight range and we have a lot of just relative equals up here, we could probably just do like a 60 tick on each side. So yeah, it's sort of, you should sort of have a static, like where you set it, a static entry instead of like 60 ticks. Sometimes it's 80 ticks, sometimes it's 100 ticks, just based on just based on how big the range is. Let's do a buy stop. I'll probably just do this because this video is dragging on a little bit. What happened? Wait, what? What just happened? Oh, we're probably gonna have to go ahead and set it again. That was weird as. It just said we made a ton of money, but we didn't. So we got tagged in there, but yeah. Trade Zell is a bit delayed, and then you would have already been out at that fat week. You have quite a lot of time, never even in drawdown once. And yeah, you have the whole minute to get out of your position with a lot of profits. And you would have definitely been filled, but maybe slippage cooked you. But in this case, slippage didn't matter because you would have just been able to just keep on printing. But yeah, you would have already been out of the position by then. So yeah, that's a full port. Bit hard to backtest, but you can see how having a static entry can save you. And if you are thinking about doing this, I would like to just advise you of the risks. It is very risky. You can get cooked on slippage. I have been cooked on slippage a few times and just blown accounts. But yeah, if you do want to go pick up any accounts, Apex is probably the best platform, or sorry, the best prop firm to do it on. And you can go pick up some cheap accounts with the code HUS. So yeah, have a good one and trade safe. Don't do anything stupid. I'll see ya.